Hey yo, what's going on guys, Sim here, and today we are going to be ranking the gears worst to best. First off, this is my opinion and it's coming from a casual. So, we're going to be playing Buster in the background and I hope you enjoy the video. So, the first gear I'm going to talk about is the worst gear in my opinion, and that's the vision gear. Now, it's been the worst to almost everyone's opinion for a long time, and that's just because it's not versatile enough. It's only good on brawlers with a long range and a long width. And some of these brawlers already have ways to see inside of bushes. And then not to mention, they only really work on bushy maps. Other than that, and if it's not a bushy map, it's not really that good. So it is going to be the bottom of the tier list here. At 8th, I've put the shield gear. Now, I've seen a lot of people liking to use the shield gear, and this is more so just a personal opinion, and that's just because I've never have had this shield gear really come in use other than when I'm playing with Spike, and I do use the shield gear decently, so I just don't really have a use for it. I use it just because I don't really know what to put. And if you don't really know what to put on a brawler, a good choice is always going to be damage gear. And so it really doesn't really fit this place. And something I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, that I am going to mention now, is I'm going to either give an example of a buff or rework that I would like to see for this certain gear. So you'll see how I want this gear to be, just because I want to try it out, because why not? In 7th place I have the health gear, and this isn't really a bad gear, but it's the only gear that you really have to remember you have to do something for it, because every other gear will happen after a certain point that will happen in any game really, when realistically, yes, for the health gear, healing, you'll heal up every single game, but if we're talking in the midst of a battle, all the gears in the game will be useful in that, but without even thinking. While on the other hand, health, you have to remember to actually get the full use out of it to heal quickly. So it's really the only gear that's like that. So although it's not a bad gear, I am just going to put it in 7th here. And other than that, it just doesn't really heal that much in my opinion. I don't know why. I've used it plenty of times and it just doesn't feel like I'm healing enough, even when I'm trying desperately hard to heal. So, yeah, I don't really like it. Therefore, it's down here. Remember, this is my personal opinion. Next one, and I already know this gear is going to be very controversial, but I have the first mythic gear being Talk to the Hand. Now, the only reason why I have it here is just because, I don't really have any use for it. Like, it's a must pick, as it just helps the brawler so massively, that being Jean, of course. But I have just never seen it really be that good, just because the range increase is 1/3 of a tile for us, even though it says 1 tile, because 1/3 of a tile for us is for some reason only 1 tile for Brawl Stars. Therefore, seeing as it's only 1/3 of a tile, although it sounds like it would be really good, when I see it in action, it really feels like I'm playing without a single gear attached. So I just don't really see help. If it was actually a tile, a full tile for us, or in other words 3 tiles for the Brawl Stars crew, then that would be a really good gear. But it's not. So I don't really see it really at all. So at 5th, I have one of the gears that was added on other than the Jean gear, and that's actually the first epic on this list, being the Supercharge. Now, although the reload gear got a nerf, it still is really good in my opinion, so it's going to be higher up. But as for the supercharged gear, I have not found much use for it. I barely see it change. To be fair, I only have it on Otis, but still, to see it have no change, really, it really feels like I'm just wasting a potential slot for something better. Now, I am going to get more brawlers with the supercharged gear to further see how good it is, because right now I only have Otis with it, like I said before, and it doesn't feel like much, but on a different brawler, it might really help, like Edgar or someone else who just relies on their super a lot more than Otis. And that's mainly just because I don't feel like it's helping Otis at all. Next up, with 4th place, is the speed gear. Now, it's not a bad gear in the slightest. In fact, it's one of the number 2 picks on most brawlers. The only reason why it is this low is just because it's not as versatile as the only other rare gear that's currently out, and the other gears I find is just much better, even though this one is really good. And the only downside is it's only in bushes, but what else are they going to do with that? So yeah, it's really good gear, just not good enough to be in the top 3 in my opinion. Next up is Tick's gear, Thick Head, and the only reason why it's up here is just because it is very annoying to deal with. And it goes great with Tick because it's annoying to deal with. And although it's probably not good at all in a competitive sense, because they really know how to deal with Tick Heads, against close range brawlers, which for some reason there's a lot of close range brawlers in this game, as well as against the majority of casual players I see, apparently at least, it's really good because no one can kill it apparently. I don't know why. I've never seen anyone in casual be able to kill it consistently. So, yeah, it's going to automatically go up really high from that. And because it is annoying, it gets in top 3. Wow, good job. Good job. You made Tick more annoying. In 2nd place, I have the reload gear, just because being able to reload faster is just really good. Because that means more ammo, and that means more super, and that means more damage on enemy team, and that means more chance of winning. Do you see the point? And I'm honestly happy that it's only on 10 brawlers currently, but realistically, I'm just saying this right now, although we really don't need more brawlers with this in my opinion, why doesn't Leon have it? His reload speed is so gosh darn slow. Anyways, finally in 1st place we have the damage gear, and that's just because it literally is good on every single brawler. There was no specific map for it. There is no specific brawlers who won't be able to use it. Almost literally every brawler, even throwers, can get use out of it with really good use as well. Throwers are the least, but they still get use out of it most of the time. So yeah, obviously it's 1st. For the vision gear, I would say just give it a 1 second buff to seeing, or maybe even 2, just to make it a little bit more appealing to use. For the shield gear, you can't really buff or nerf it without making it too bad or too good. So I would say just rework it, because I want to see this in the game where it's pretty much just things stop out where every couple of seconds you'll charge up a shield, but instead of just reducing the next projectile that hits you, it just negates the entire next projectile that hits you. For health, just because I don't know what to do with it, it would either be just keep it neutral, or just make it so it's 55% or 60% more efficient rather than 50%. For talk to the hand, I would just say make it 1 tile for us, or in other words, 3 tiles for the Brawl Stars team. Just because currently I don't even see how it's different. For the speed gear and the supercharged gear, which is 5th and 4th, I'm just going to say keep it neutral because I don't really see how they can change it, and they're around the middle, so yeah, just keep those two neutral. For Thick Head, I would say just make it 250 less HP points on Tick's head, or in other words, make it 750 HP bonus in total rather than 1000, and that's just because it's annoying. For Reload gear, I can't really think of what to do for it, so I would just keep it neutral. In Damage gear, I would make it so it's 10%, not 15% buff. And that's it for today's episode. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye!